Hi, folks. This is Joe from Ecommerce Platforms, and today we're going to be covering a Transferwise review. And the reason we really like this particular payment gateway is that it gives you all sorts of exchange rates. Because when you're getting started with an online store, when it comes to exchange rates, not all of them are created equal, as you can see here. Let's say you are in the U.S. and you've tried to send dollars to an account in the UK. Your bank promises you that there's a 0% commission and they definitely offer free money transfers. Uh, 99 times out of 100, this couldn't be further from the truth. So, there's an inevitably some markup that is added to the transfer, and you aren't getting what is known as the mid-market rate. So the mid-market rate is basically the real rate for that transfer. If you Googled the exchange rate between the US and the UK now, that is what you should be getting. So, what if we said that you could get that mid market rate when sending money between different countries, whether it's for a transaction or for a personal, if you're sending it to a family or friend or whatever? That there were no unexpected fees and that you could send money between accounts in different countries up to 8% cheaper than your bank could, because that's how it works. If you're working with a regular US bank or a UK bank or whatever, they're going to charge you their fees and they're going to get the fees from you. So this is where TransferWise comes in, and as you can see, we're going to be reviewing it today. So TransferWise is a UK-based company that believes that money should have no borders, and it's kind of the brainchild of this guy named Christo Carmen and another guy called Tavet Henriquez. So those are some names for you. And one of them worked for Skype. One of them, I think, worked for another company, but basically he was working in London, and one another was working in Estonia. So they were trying to send money back and forth, and they figured out certain ways so that they wouldn't have to necessarily do it with their bank. So they built this platform, and right now it has since its inception, it has over 4 million customers and is backed by investors involved in companies such as Virgin and PayPal. So it's kind of a big deal, and it's worth looking into for your online commerce, or if you're just planning on sending some money internationally. Let's start by going to their website, TransferWise. It's fairly easy to understand. It's kind of cool that they have this on the home page. So it basically asks you, um, how much money do you want to spend? And then it'll show you the calculation. So TransferWise is very transparent in how they do their pricing. In regards to costs, these will all be different based on how much you are sending, what country you're sending it to, and what the currency is. So there really aren't many costs involved because they're cutting out that middleman, which is your bank. So you just head to the widget on TransferWise here, and you can instantly see how your money is converted. So let's say I wanted to send $2,000 in USD. That would be transferred over to the other account that you're thinking about doing. Let's say you have a buddy over in the European Union, or let's do euros fine. But the total fees are going to be about $13 USD, and then that guaranteed rate, which we kind of talked about before, is going to be stuck there just like that. So it'll be stuck for 25 hours. So your recipient would get about $1,771 or euros in once you transfer. What's also interesting is that it will tell you, your bank would have charged you an extra $113 to make that international transfer. And anyone who's sent money internationally knows just how expensive it can be. So, if you've never done it before, you might think, well, who cares? But this is a big deal for a lot of companies that do business internationally, as well as just individuals who want to send money to other people. Now, it will entirely depend on what you're trying to send. So, if you do USD to, say, British pound, it's totally different, and the fees are going to change as well. So the fees before were 12.57. Um, Now the fees, because we're sending it, what was that? Bangladeshi, uh, yeah, Bangladeshi taka is, the fees are going to be about $30 USD. So it's a little bit more expensive to send to Bangladesh. And let's just do one more. Canadian dollar, that's pretty similar, right? So it's only about $14 to send to Canada. And then, of course, you have the guaranteed rate. That's the exchange rate. That's kind of what we talked about before, where the exchange rate shouldn't really change much. It should be guaranteed for a certain period of time, and then you shouldn't have to be paying exorbitant fees that are being taken out by your bank just for sending money overseas. Oh yeah, another cool thing is it tells you when it's going to arrive. So, if you're going to be needing that money, or if someone else is going to need that money, you can actually tell them when they're going to get the payment. There are some other fees, but overall, they have a full pricing page here, which is really nice. Like I said, they're very transparent. You can create your account for free. You can hold over 40 currency balances for free. Get an Australian account and BSB number for free. Most of it's free. If you want to convert your currencies, like we were kind of doing before, that is the range. So right now it's 0.35% to 2.85%. And if you want to add money to your account via a direct debit, it's just a small fee right there. Um, you also have options for debit and credit cards. If you're looking to pay via a credit card, then it's dependent on the type of card you use and the currency you're sending from. So these fees for converting a currency are right there, but there are a few other things, that are nice and free for you. ATM withdrawal is not free. One way I like to show this to people is, they kind of say it right here on their sales page. The conversion fee, the exchange rate, is like the one you see on Google. So, we've all, or many of us have probably done that before, especially if you're traveling abroad. You might need to exchange some of your money, but then all of a sudden there's this fee because someone's exchanging the money for you. So it's never exactly what you see on Google. In fact, it's usually a lot more money. Transferwise is trying to eliminate that. Okay, so Transferwise also has a business. It's called Transferwise for Business. There are plenty of benefits here. It's a free multi-currency account to pay global suppliers and receive Stripe and Amazon payments for free. So that's pretty cool. That there really hasn't been anything like that before. You can see you can pay invoices abroad, receive money with no fees, automate with an API. So yeah, that's kind of the whole catch. There's no fees here. And they also have, once again, another calculator here where you can send $3,000 and the recipient gets that. So I really like the calculators they have on here. Um, and they kind of show you how much cheaper it is than PayPal if you're doing international transfers. It's pretty much zero. But if you were to receive, say, 2,000 Great British pounds over from someone else, you're gonna have to pay some fees there. Batch payments are also possible. They also have something called exchange rate locking, and we kind of saw that before. But it's basically when transferring money, TransferWise automatically locks the exchange rate for a specified amount of time. I think before for the personal transfer, it was like 25 hours. Um, Let me see here. It looks like it's actually 24 hours. Sometimes it's locked 42 hours, and for certain countries, it's a little more, like 72 hours. So that all depends, but that is kind of the business TransferWise for business. You don't necessarily have to be uh, doing using an e-commerce store, but that's kind of what we're covering right now. You can just pay invoices if you want. It doesn't have to be selling products online. It doesn't really matter. And another thing, finally, is that you can spend with a free debit card. It's called the TransferWise card. It's right here. Let's see if they have a page for it. Yeah, so get a borderless account. Let's go to the debit card. So what you would do here is link to one of your borderless business accounts that we mentioned earlier. You can also apply for a Debit Mastercard. I think this is what they're showing right here. Actually, no, this is the debit card, I believe. So this is currently only available to the majority of European-based customers, but you can see a list of the countries on the page. It's kind of ever expanding. It's soon to be released in the US. It's in the beta stage, I think, in the US as well as some of the other countries. Um, but for that card, for a start, it's contactless and it allows you to spend money anywhere in the world at the promised exchange rate. It's also free to pay with any of the currencies you hold within your account. So you could technically take whatever currencies are sent to you, and you don't have to change. You don't have to get charged for extra fees, except for the promised exchange rate. And if you, on the chance you want to convert to a different currency, Transferwise offers a great low conversion fee as well as zero transaction fees. Um, but yeah, other than that, they have some great security from what I've seen. The customer support seems solid. They have FAQs online. Let me see if I could find those. Let's see, company and team, news and blog. That's kind of support. Okay, help and support here. Help center. Yeah, so they have a knowledge base here. You can search for whatever you want. Paying by bank transfer. When will my money arrive? You can also talk to the team. And from the looks of it, they have a ticketing system. They're actually currently transferring over to a new system that I just noticed. But yeah, they have a ticketing system. They go through email. I don't see a live chat right here, but most of it works through your dashboard. They might actually have a live chat on there, especially with the new system that they're implementing. But other than that, you know, if you, I would say some of the pros of TransferWise are going to be things like the fees. Compared to the fees you would pay if transferring via a bank or a PayPal account, it's going to be much cheaper for going internationally. They also are very good with transparency. As you saw, there's not really any hidden fees involved. The speed of the transfer is a big plus with TransferWise. And then there's also that rate locking. So, if you activate a transaction, whether it's for a business transaction or a personal transaction, that fee is going to be locked in. As we saw right here, there's a guaranteed rate for a certain period of time, usually 24 or 25 hours, depending on your country. I also like the security of TransferWise. It looks very solid. The business account is great for sending, receiving, and spending money over 40 currencies right now. They're expanding it, and that gives you a fantastic advantage for international business. You also have more control over exchange rates. It's a very user-friendly interface. There's all sorts of benefits here. I mean, there's a reason it's being funded by so many uh, other companies and investors. So it's very clear that they're making an impact in the world. But other than that, I like things like high levels of client satisfaction and the high daily transfer limit. Now, let's go into the cons of TransferWise. We did check into it, and let's see here, bring myself back. Um, the customer support, as of right now, there is no phone support, so that would be handy. It depends, especially in the early stages of setting up your different bank accounts. It would be nice to talk to someone on the phone, um, but they do have support options on the back end. For large transfers, TransferWise's fees would definitely be beaten by bigger corporations such as MoneyCorp. If you're sending huge amounts of money, you might actually look at some other options. Also, when you're signing up, you have to show two documents And that can be a little bit laborious, especially if you're trying to get set up quickly. The fact that a mobile phone bill can't be used, and I actually didn't talk about that before, but you have to, let me actually bring up my notes here. Yeah, so you need two documents. One is an ID document, which is a passport, national ID, photo driver's license. And then you need proof of address, which looks like a utility bill or credit card statement, tax bill, vehicle registration. So that doesn't seem like it's all that bad, but it could take a little bit of time. Um, oh, yeah, the mobile phone bill actually isn't possible to use. So you're going to have to look for a different proof of address. Other than that, MasterCard is still not available for North American companies. It's in a beta stage and might be available eventually. And then you can also do bank account transfers only. It's not really what I would call a pro. And you also need to punch in a social security number to send money via Transferwise, which not everyone is comfortable with. Other than that, Transferwise, it has a little bit of a limited reach. So, if you're a business with clients and customers scattered across the globe, you may have to wait around a little bit for Transferwise to grow up a little bit because I mean it is a slightly young company and they're still expanding. It's based on the premise of being able to complete international transactions. So it's going to take a little bit of time. Overall, I would say TransferWise is better than PayPal in terms of fees for international transactions. The same would go with if you compared it to like 2Checkout. 2Checkout actually beats TransferWise when it comes to the number of countries they operate in. Um, so that is probably going to change in the future. They might kind of even out. However, like PayPal, um, 2Checkout charges much higher transfer fees than TransferWise. So we're really looking to just keep those fees low. Overall, if you are a small or a medium e-commerce business that deals with either international partners or you have remote employees in different countries, TransferWise might very well be for you. The amount of money you will save, even in the first few months, could be spent to help expand your business, which is really cool. All of this international business, there's so many fees. Just the fact that you can cut this out and kind of guarantee your exchange rates for 24 hours or 48 hours really comes into play. I wouldn't recommend it for companies or people that don't send money internationally. It doesn't really make sense. If you're also looking to transfer large sums of money, then it might be more beneficial to use a larger FX institution, such as Money Corp or Western Union. But overall, TransferWise is a fantastic platform. It's kind of changing the game in terms of international business and sending money overseas and just to other countries. So I give it a big thumbs up from e-commerce platforms. If you have any questions, leave us a comment and please subscribe to our channel down below and like this video. Thank you.